Everything is so wrong. I don't see how you can't speak up and say something about it. And just how can you live with that? What goes on? There's a point where you have to say, I've had enough. We have to do something.
The Leonardo DiCaprio, in a very emotional speech, basically said that he would not be who he is as a person and as an actor without you. You seem pretty moved by that.
That kid is good, you know. I didn't say use him. I said he's good.
The speech was very powerful and political. I'm wondering, when and why did you start to speak up? When did you decide to speak up as an actor?
I don't feel it's just that everything is so wrong. I don't see how you can't speak up and say something about it. And just how can you live with that? What goes on and how certain people buy into that or just settle for it or don't say anything. And I understand people have to make concessions, compromises. They have to work with what is given to them. But there's a point where you have to say, I've had enough. We have to do something. We have to do something, and we have to set an example for others so they can do something, because what's going on is wrong.
Especially as artists, as you mentioned yesterday, the artists are a threat to the autocrats and fascists of this world. And the whole speech sounded like a plea to organize some kind of resistance. How do you feel the film industry could resist?
I don't know how it can, other than telling stories that examples of what we're going through now, or I guess, or whatever. I don't know. I think people have to resist in general what's going on, because with protests, with demonstrations, to show it's the people and it's the courts, and it's that simple.
For example, Robert De Niro, this idea to tax the American films that are shot abroad that you mentioned yesterday, what would be the consequences?
I don't know. It's crazy, because you're going to tax a movie American movie that's been shot abroad to bring over here. They have to pay a tax. Some of the biggest companies in the world are shooting movies all over the world. So now you come back, you got to pay a tax or a tariff or whatever. It's just crazy.
And the creativity of artists is threatened by that.
Yeah, it's just. I don't understand. I don't understand what the point of that is. I don't understand it.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense that you were honored here in Cannes for your whole career. In your speech, you mentioned iconic films from Mean Streets to Killers of the Flower Moon. We were all thinking of Taxi Driver that won the Palme d'Or in 1976. Between you and me, what is the most powerful and emotional memory that you have in Cannes?
Even now, I mean, last night, I've been here many times. I always love coming here, but I'd say last night was one of the highlights. The first time I came, Cannes is the Riviera, glamorous. This is what you see in movies. So it was an exciting experience, and always has been every time I come.
I'm thinking of this amazing image of you and Martin Scorsese 2 years ago when you were supporting each other to reach the top of the Cannes steps. And it seemed to me as an image of a lifelong friendship. I'm wondering, what do you owe Martin Scorsese?
Well, I'm fortunate to have worked with him all these years. And that even though we knew each other a little, we sort of knew each other through, he hung out with these other kids, I hung out with my friends, and then we had somebody who went between us who would tell me about Marty. He's going to NYU, he's doing, his friend Marty, blah, blah, and he's directing, he's doing this, so he's movies, and I say, oh, that's interesting, and then one day we met years later at a mutual friend. I think we had Jay Cox's house, the film critic, and we met Christmas dinner years later, and I saw Who's That Knocking. I said, that was really terrific. You know what you're doing with that, the story and all that. And then we started talking about, he had a project called Season of the Witch, which was the original title of Mean Streets. And that's where we started.
What do you think he owes you?
I don't know.
You know, I'm asking this question because yesterday Leonardo DiCaprio, in a very emotional speech, basically said that he would not be who he is as a person and as an actor without you. You seem pretty moved by that.
How could I not? That was really a wonderful thing.
Do you remember when you met him the first time? What immediately struck you as an actor?
Well, we'd had a reading of a movie that I was going to do called This Boy's Life. And he was one of the kids reading the other parts. And at the end of it, I was talking to the producer, Art Linson, and I said that kid is good, you know. I didn't say use him. I said he's good. That kid's good.